previously about like the broken and beaten and whatnot. We got talking a little bit before we got started about bullying and young females. I have 3 young girls, and I kind of have waited as much as I've wanted them to get involved with MMA and especially jiu-jitsu. It's like part of me is like, no, I want them to remain, not the fighter mentality, just nice to everybody. But now my oldest is 12. She's already seen it, whether she's, been a victim herself or trying to save some of her other friends from it. What would be some of your advice of, 1, not being a victim, and 2, maybe helping others?
The importance of confidence building in children is incredibly important. I mean, we do this with our parents with the word yes and no coming up as a kid, and you start to learn your boundaries. Well, as we get older, if you're unconfident, you're much more likely to cower and accept abuse. So if you want your child, I say child because it's like both young women and young men are constantly being abused. 80% of the population goes through trauma before the age of 9. 80%, that's most of the population in our country. Think about third world countries. So really everybody needs to learn self-defense because gender, race, height, people are getting hurt all the same. And this is what it does, I don't think that your daughters need to be a female MMA fighter, but send them to a few jiu-jitsu classes. Their first party, some guy tries to grab them, they arm drag them, they face plant in the wall, and they say, I'm out of here, have a nice day. Or, their first time going out to the club and their girls were drinking, they're walking to their car and a robber comes and tries to grab their purse or something. They're gonna know how to react to this situation because the majority of the time people say, oh, get a gun, buy a weapon. But you're not gonna carry that weapon on you. And in your young adult life, the majority of trauma is actually caused by someone you know, especially domestic violence. That means now you're in a relationship with somebody and they drink too much, they get under the influence, they're not acting themselves. That doesn't mean they need to get shot and die. However, you need to learn how to separate yourself from this situation. If more people knew how to defend themselves, less trauma would happen. Like in school, right? You're the sweetest guy, but say you're a bully. You're bullying me, you're beating me up, you're taking my lunch money, and I'm just taking it. You're gonna continue to take lunch money from all the other kids that you perceive to be weaker. Well, what happens when you come to this nerdy little kid and you try to take my lunch money and I arm drag you, I wrist lock you, put you on your back, say, don't touch me again. You get up, try to get a hit, back down on your ass. You just learned a valuable lesson in front of the world. And it's like, now I guarantee you're gonna think twice before you try to attack the next person for their lunch money. So I think having your arsenal or in your back pocket, being able to flip the coin of like, listen, here's my voice, I know how to defend myself, do not approach me, do not try this, or a dude grabbing you, get your hands off me, I know how to defend myself. Being able to use your voice and speak up about things is so important, and that's what confidence does. Confidence builds your voice and it builds your experience, and learning how to physically protect yourself gives you that confidence.
Perfect. Quick, selfish question. As a father now, wanting to definitely instill all those things you just said in my girls, what would be the least intrusive, annoying, or as a young woman, how would you want a father figure to embolden you and give you confidence, but not just leave it all up to you and them step in whenever they need to step in? Or is there even a line?
Yeah, so it's actually not out yet, but I'm coming up with some online courses to kind of help parents do this with their kids. But I would suggest a self-defense course. They have them all the time. I'm sure Maria, Sophia's sister, has done one before. At the lab or something like this, a lot of times they offer youth classes where they can just go and be with their girls. It's non-intrusive. There's no man grabbing them, just in a fun way to learn these basic self-defense moves, because honestly, self-defense is muscle memory. Because if you hit fight or flight, which comes from all humans, some people are flyers, are gonna freeze and or run away, and some people are gonna immediately react in a way that they believe is gonna protect them. So I think that those classes are a great way to integrate movement as well as self-defense, which then builds confidence. I don't think it's up to you to be like, come here girls, let me teach you how to defend a choke, and you grab their neck and you're like, ah, Dad! It's gonna be like The Simpsons, you know, when Homer grabs Bart's neck, he's
I'm so glad you brought up Simpsons. I feel like I don't get to talk to anybody about Simpsons anymore, but hey, if we can do it, then you will and I will be able to be on here many times.